Now we want to start working with our text field. So to do that, we need to start looking at how we can access the keyboard using notifications and delegate methods. In the previous video, we learned how to connect our user interface into our view controller. In this video, we're going to look at exactly how to conform to delegate protocols, and what actually are delegate protocols. Then we'll learn how we can dismiss the keyboard, and how we access NS notification messages. One of the user interactions we want to capture here is text input via our text field. UI text fields are one of a number of different UI elements that make use of a pattern known as delegation. The way that this works is by tightly coupling the element to the controller accessing it through a property set on the text field called Delegate, and then ensuring that the controller conforms to a delegate protocol as defined by the UI text field delegate. Let's put this together. We'll start by running our app and see how this currently works. As you can see, when I click into the text field, I'm able to start typing and the text is populated. However, what I want is that when I press enter, the text field should disappear. But this doesn't happen. So we'll go back to our project. There are two ways of determining a delegate for UI element, but since we've been using storyboards so far, we can make use of their interface to do this for us. The first thing we want to do is to go to our view controller, and after the UI view controller, add a comma, and then add in the following: UI text field delegate. This tells our view controller that it should conform to the UI text field delegate protocol. As you can see, nothing special happens when I do this, since the UI text field delegate protocol does not have any required methods or properties that need to be implemented. However, what it has done is inform Xcode and the compiler that this object has now become a delegate to the text field. Let's go to our storyboard and select our text field. In our connections inspector, we can see the text field has a connector called delegate. If we drag this over to our view controller and let go, our view controller is added to the connections. Now we'll head back to our view controller, where we will implement the code we need. Like with the view lifecycle methods that are inherited by the view controller, protocols give the object conforming to them extra methods and properties. UI text field comes with a number of these, which you can see if you press Command and then click on the protocol. This documentation can be extremely useful for you when looking for the right method or property to use. Here we want to use text field should return. So we'll go back to our view controller and at the bottom of the file, begin typing text field. As you can see, when I do this, Xcode's code completion populates with suggested methods, and I'm going to select the one we wanted. Notice, however, that this does not come with an override, and does not need to call a super method from the parent class. This is because it does not actually inherit from any superclass. It is conforming to a protocol, and as such, this is the first instance. Next, within this method, I'm going to tell my text field that when the return button is pressed, then the text field should resign as the first responder. This means that it will no longer be the most important object. Let's run this and see how it looks. Excellent. I am now hiding my keyboard when I want to. One more item that we want to be aware of is the concept of notifications. This is another development pattern and is used to send messages across the application. Keyboard notifications are sent whenever a keyboard appears, disappears, or is otherwise modified. This is handy when you want to animate a view or move another view above the height of the keyboard. This can be done by creating an observer, then notifying the observer when something happens. So here I'll go to the bottom of my view controller and create my methods that will be called by the notification. I will create a keyboard will show and a keyboard will hide. Then, in my view did load, I'll create two observers by accessing the NS Notification Center, Default Center, Add Observer. The first of these I connect to my keyboard will hide selector using the constant UI keyboard will show notification. And the second of these I connect to my keyboard will hide selector using the constant UI keyboard will hide notification. I'm now listening to the two notifications and can react as required when these appear. Now, I'll go to my dinit and remove my object as an observer when it's killed. And so we've learned the fundamentals of delegates and notifications using NS notification. In the next video, we're going to look at how we can access the UI image picker controller.